Well, hello everyone. Hopefully, you guys can hear me and see me okay. Just a surprise live. Really no agenda. I figured that I would put a call out to the top 5% of resellers out there. And if you've been looking at your messages from eBay, chances are, even though 5% is a small number, chances are you're in the 5%. And eBay put out a message today, and I thought it was kind of funny. But it's not why I'm making the live. I just got back from the store, had a little dinner, and I know that we hinted towards doing a pop up live for the Profit Playbook podcast, and we just couldn't get it done today. And we're going to try to do our regular recording tomorrow. And who knows, we might do a pop up there, but because I have plans tomorrow evening, it's not all that likely. So I figured, you know what, I'll just go on and do a live and see who shows up, right? So hopefully, and I really have no idea how many people are going to be here, but we're just going to roll with it. Let's see, we have Duncan here first with crickets. And yes, this is a surprise live. And I warn you guys all the time that hit the notification bell because you never know when we do a surprise live. So we have a few people that are here, so I will guess I will get to it. Wanted to talk about this story that was put out. At least I've noticed it was put out by Liz Morton. Let me see if I can get to it real quick. Here it is. And as you can see, eBay unwraps personalized selling stats for 2024. Is every seller in the top 5%? Now, I don't know about you. I have two accounts on eBay that are seller accounts. And my main account, there's every reason for certain things, like I guess you guys can say toilet seats, where I should be in the top 5%. Yet I didn't get that message on that account. I did get it on my second account, which is our throwaway account for the most part. Now we're trying to build that store up. But to say that in 2024 we're top 5% in shoes, I don't buy it at all. And I think that was sent out in error. Now, Liz goes on to say eBay sent out personalized messages to sellers today celebrating their individual success on the platform in 2024. But some sellers say the math doesn't check out. The question started on UK community. One some eagle-eyed sellers noticed, probably she meant to say once, some eagle-eyed seller noticed not only did the stats eBay provided not match where they believe they actually sold in certain categories, but somehow every other seller they talked to was also told the same thing, that they were in the top 5%. So thus the reason why I titled this live, if you're watching this, you are in, or are you in the top 5% or something? I can't see the title right now, but I'm sure that many of you guys are in the top 5%. Great. Congratulations. I want to give you guys some applause here. A little loud. I apologize. So you guys are awesome. Top 5%. Congratulations. She goes on to say, we're in the top 5% of a certain category. Our first item sold, highest earning line, busiest day, number of buyers, and number of views. Amazingly, am I in one of my categories, which, considering that I'm in the process of bailing out of that category because sales are so poor, there that I haven't bought anything in that category for the last 3 years, is really depressing. Another person said, if I'm one of those top sellers in the category and I can't make it profitable, then how badly are my competitors doing? I strongly suspect most of them are actually selling their items as private sellers to avoid the ruinous fees. Now, this is a lot of folks in the UK, but the email came out in the US as well. Another says, but as it doesn't seem to say how eBay has calculated these stats, items sold, average selling price, percentage of listings sold within 30 days, it's pretty meaningless, really. My sales in that category over the year are something like 95% under 15 pounds and 2% over 200 pounds. People thinking it's trash. Every single person I know so far is in the top 5% of their category. Just so that you guys know, as far as percentages are concerned, 5% is 1 out of every 20. That's who should have received that verbiage. It's almost like it was a cutout message to, I don't know, maybe to encourage people. Like, you're in the top 5%. Kind of keep going, even though it's not real. What they should be doing is giving everyone access to the listings quality report, which will give you a real idea as how you stack up against your competition for the real items that you sell, and giving you advice, real actionable advice within that report. I think it's a great report. Unfortunately, only my main account has it. My secondary account does not. Liz goes on to say, I could go on there were over 30 responses to that thread, most of which confirm they too have been told they're in the top 5% of their respective categories. Unsurprisingly, sellers found this a rather strange coincidence, so they asked eBay staff about it, since the UK community still has a weekly chat session. And they asked, can you explain why it seems like every single seller that received the email about the eBay yearly roundup is getting told they're in the top 5% performers in their category? And they ask, is this a glitch, or is eBay cherry picking selected categories to blow smoke up our asses, pretty much? Marco at eBay responded saying, just because a few sellers in the community all happen to get the same result, that doesn't necessarily mean all of the millions of sellers across the platform did too. If you as a seller received an email stating that, then it is because you are. Just because you're seeing some sellers commenting about this doesn't mean that you're covering all the multiple sellers we have on the site. I don't buy it. And this is what the link looks like. And when I clicked on it, I clicked on this little message. It kicked me over to like my seller hub. Didn't give me any breakdown. And it like told me I was the top 5% for shoes. Again, I don't buy it. It's definitely not where I'm at. That's making maybe collectively a couple $1,000s in sales on that account. It's not a hot account, and I would have believed it maybe on the main account, but not on the secondary account. So I'm wondering how many of you guys ended up getting that message. We have Harbor's Hope. Ron, good evening. Nice to see you. We got Craig, Landshark Picker. How did I get here if I'm the bottom 5%? They had the stats upside. They had it sorted wrong. They had the top, when you go into Excel and you sort it by number, they just had it flip-flop. That's probably why we all got it. Chris D is in the house. Duncan VR, the crickets are very moist today. I'm glad you enjoy your moist crickets. Flipping from the trailer. Hey, John, nice to see you. Simplify 1918, my overall sales are up. I'm at my average monthly average. Then how are you up? But if you're happy, then that's all that matters. Ed, the reselling writer, where have you been? Nice to see you, buddy. Hopefully things are okay with you on the reselling side and the family and the home side. Flipping from the trailer, hit the like, waiting for my sale. It does apply. Hit that like button. I'm telling you, I don't know how the subject got brought up, but once it was brought up, it's like the valve won't shut off, and that is returns. Someone talked about it, I believe, on Primo's show, and now it's like return request. It's like, oh my goodness. When does it stop? Let's see. Fuega, I think that's right. No bad buyers recently. Who tests your patience? Well, not really bad buyers. I mean, things happen on the platform, like the video that I put out today. We had a video where talking about how eBay put me in a pretty good pickle, in that the buyer bought a fan motor, and they noticed a little crimp in the power connection, right? And it's one of those things we have to hardwire, but one of the wires had a crimp in it. And to me, I think I remember seeing it, and I took photos of it, and I didn't think anything of it. Now, they didn't even bother to try to install it. They're just saying, hey, a wire got damaged in transit. Now, they didn't reach out. Of course, it's one of your buyers who went on and opened a return request. Can't reason with an open return request. It's already done, so you approve the return. But they sent it back like 2 weeks ago, and it's still stuck en route. It's making a slow snail's pace to me here. It's in Phoenix. It was sent from the East Coast. It's now in Phoenix now. But on Monday, eBay sent me a message saying, we see you got the item. You got 2 days to give them their money back. Inspect the item and give them a refund. And I'm like, no. In fact, there is no delivery scan anywhere. It wasn't like they accidentally scanned something. And what was weird is when I click further into the request, it showed should have arrived between the 9th of November and the 12th of November. They didn't mail it until the 9th of December. Hold on. I got gum in my mouth. I shouldn't have had that in there. I apologize. So it's one of those things where, eBay has it's an obvious glitch. And when I called, they said it was a glitch. And last night, when I made the video to launch this morning, the rep said that they're going to take care of it. Guess what, guys? It was still an active return request. So now I'm here going, okay, I guess I'll just give them their money back. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see this through because a couple reasons. And I get so much flack for making videos on things where people are like, why don't you just refund it and be done with it? Don't waste your time. Do it this way. And I probably would consider doing that at this point. But I have a channel. And so unlike a lot of other resellers out there, I kind of feel like an accountability to you guys and to learn things or teach you guys things that happen to me. I'll be the guinea pig. I'll make the videos and you can see what happens when you are at a decision. You can either go left or right. Left is the easy road. Right is the road that is least traveled, but we don't really know a whole lot about that path. So I go down this path knowing I kind of knew the answer, but I want you guys to see it, to kind of validate what I've already experienced. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Now I called or had them call me back tonight, and immediately I knew, look, I don't want to deal with no frontline rep. They tell you what you want to hear, and they don't follow through all the time. And that's kind of what happened last night. So this rep, I told him, look, I need the return department, whoever handles returns, because I believe that's the dispute team, because nobody followed through, and they finally put me through, and explained to the rep. I said, look, this is a phone call I shouldn't have had to make. I know you're going to open a case. I know you're going to make it so I'm going to have to contact you guys again, because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you open a case or a case is open against you, it removes your ability to refund anything until that case is resolved. So that refund button is not there. So when it comes back, guess what? I have to call in, have eBay open the return. And if there's a problem with it, I don't think eBay is going to do anything for me, to be honest with you. But they're going to refund the buyer. And because it's a transaction resolved without seller resolution, then guess what? They're hitting me with a defect that I have to then fight. So, and the problem is these reps really just don't know. They don't see it beyond being a claim. They think it's not a big deal. But in the end of the day, if you guys are in that boat where you have a claim filed against you, or you are actually the one opening a claim due to like an eBay glitch, guess what, guys? You can't you can't stop there. You have to make sure that defect is removed from your account. We have Charlie McBride. How about the new eBay rating for listing on clothing? Don't know anything about it. I don't sell a lot of clothing. Are they saying that you're in the top 5% in clothing? Curious about that. If you are still watching, let me know more about that. Ed says, dang, they tricked me. Then they said I overperformed. 98% of sellers in the men's shoe category. It's odd though, isn't it? If you go in and look, so they said I was in the top 5% of shoes. Now, I have shoes on my account. Don't get me wrong. I sold more shoes last year than I did this year. And the shoes that I have are pretty much just residual. I've got more shoes sitting out waiting to be listed than I have listed, I think. So I don't think that would qualify me for the top 5%. Now, maybe they're saying, look, we're putting all the sellers in the same boat here to figure out who's in the top 5%. And Joe Blow, who has like one pair of shoes that, he doesn't fit anymore. He's just some random guy, and he doesn't really sell but a couple items a year. he's put his shoes on. So in the scheme of things, you're being compared to a non-serious reseller. That might be what it is, but at the end of the day, it's not a serious stat, and I think it's more just to blow smoke and to make sellers feel good about themselves when eBay hasn't given a lot of resellers the results to really feel good about themselves. It's one thing to see, oh wow, I'm in the top 5%, but does your deposits feel like top 5%? I doubt that highly. And I'm not just saying you, Ed. I'm saying about a lot of resellers out there who are getting that that information. Duncan says, my eBay email said I'm in the bottom 5%. No, that's the Australian report. They did that a little different. Bill Hess says, I'm in the top 1% in antique clocks. Now, is that accurate? If you're in the top 1%, you're going to know. You're going to know when you simply do research on other antique clocks to say, yeah, here's all mine, and here's the rest. And I have a lot more than others do. And then you could look at the solds and see, wow, my sales are outperforming when I search for this particular type of item or this clock. So you'll know if you're in the top 10%, you may not have as much awareness, but the top 1%, you know who your main one or two competition is, who you're really up against. Chai Charon says, man just watched Craigslist Hunter latest video, and he had some tweakers in the store today. I wish people would not do drugs. It makes me sad. It's unfortunate. But here's Ruby and Honey, Craigslist Hunter. I love this shirt for a couple reasons. Of course, it's Craigslist Hunter. Love the guy. Love his animals. But also, this shirt just fits me great. It's really nice to get a shirt that fits well and feels good on you, and this one does it. So I don't know if he sells these shirts, but if you are able to go on and buy a shirt from Pete, certainly do it. It's good quality stuff. Ed, they should have known that people are going to post it in the groups. That's what I ended up doing. It's just, give us all the listings quality report and let us really see the real data. I think if we all had the listings quality report to compare that to, we would be like, what are they talking about? I'm nowhere near 5%. Chai says, basically it was like, hey, thanks for making us a ton of money this year. Keep it up and rah, rah, rah. It's exactly what it is. You know, the end of the year is a time where people reflect and think, is this eBay thing working? Is it something I want to keep doing? And so people are on the fence, and then they open their messages and go, wow, eBay thinks I'm doing a really great job. Maybe I'll stay. And I'm not saying it's enough to keep most people away from going back to a 9-to-5, but if you're on the fence, it might give you a little encouragement. I don't know. Chai says, basically it was like, hey, thanks for making us a ton of money this year. I think I read that. Gina Hohensie says, I couldn't figure out my category of top 5%. But hey, it was a positive email, so I'm taking too much negative in the world to not appreciate the good vibe. Yeah, I get it. I would rather them just say, look, you are in the top 35% of these categories, and with a little bit more whatever, you can find yourself in the top 20. That's the kind of encouragement I want. Because if they say, like, look, you're the top 1%, it's like, wow, that's it? There's no more improvement. Even if I put in extra effort, buy more antique clocks, this is it? No, I really wish that they would be a little bit more honest with the data. Chai, top 5% in toilet seats for sure. I'm not even sure of that. I don't sell a lot of them. I have a bunch in storage. I don't sell a lot of them. I have them, and if you're willing to make a deal, hell, just contact me. I'll be glad to give you a deal. I'm trying to liquidate those things. Ed says, yep, I got it. I'm top 5% in men's shoes, apparently. So am I, and you've sold more than me. Ed says, things are okay. Reselling, even better. Personal, not so much, but that's why I have been MIA. Well, hopefully we can get back in the game, especially when it comes to making content. It's a grind, man. It is such a grind to make content. And I'm really, I could wait till 2025 and say, okay, I'm going to start trying to make more videos and do more lives, but I need to do that now. I mean, forget putting it off and waiting for a certain date. You want to do more and want to build a channel. It's kind of what I want to do. Well, then I need to do more and get more videos out. So here I am. Simplify says, I meant my overall end of month sales average I hit today. Okay, well then that's perfect. I could tell you that this has been a sad Q4, and the last couple days on my main account have been equally sad. I don't think that I'm going to hit December 2023 levels in 2024. Just not going to do it. Well, I mean, I can't say I'm not. I'm not going to put that out there, but it's not trending that way. Scott N said, that's funny. My notice said that I'm in the top 5% for one of my categories, which is a large portion of my merchandise is in. And it could be true. It could be true. It could be that 50% of sellers in all the categories got this message, but it only pertains to still the top 5. Chai, the return line at my local Costco here in Schaumburg, Illinois is always very long no matter what time of the day it is. And it's going to get worse in about 2 weeks. Trust that. Beards with us. I thought we had to watch some other YouTuber who is claiming that he gives you a sale for a like. Strange how that is. I am that seller. If you hit the like button, we put the positive energy out there so you get the sale. So we had other YouTubers that were doing lives and saying that, and they don't make videos much anymore. What's going on? Need to get you back in the game, Beard. Get back on here. Amy Snively says, I'm in the top 5% of women's clothing. And for those of you who got that message, how many of you disagree that, no, that ain't me. I'm not in the top 5%, because I'm one of them. I disagree. Duncan, I only get return requests when I hit the like here. Well, that's horrible. Then don't hit you're the only one that shouldn't hit the like then. Simplify, I'm guessing since no email or notice, am I in the top 5% or bottom feeder 5%? My theory is they probably sent it out to the top 50, and you may not be in the top 50 in your categories. I don't know. Or either that, because I should have received some kind of message on my main account. Maybe it didn't go out to all resellers. Mike Gertis, I got the message. I'm ranked 25 out of 290,000 sellers on the quality report. Clicked it and went to Seller Hub. Yeah, the Seller Hub is going to give you more accurate information than some random email. Ed says, I got a return request while the item was still in transit at the LA distribution hub and still on its way to the East Coast. eBay's response, report and go through the process. And they shouldn't have been able to open it in the first place. Yeah, when you get a return request, even if it isn't arrived, it's going to go through. And now all you can do is accept the return, send them the return label, or approve the return label through eBay. And now they the 30 business day counter goes down. They have only that much time to return it. Chai says, I just noticed that you have one of Pete's shirts on. Too funny. I just finished watching his video. Yeah, he's a great guy. I love his videos too. Duncan says, question, John, when you get returns, do you notice slower sales? I'm noticing slower sales. And, people say it's, your tinfoil moment, your tinfoil hat. It's not that. There's something else going on. But it happens too often where you get a return and then it just doesn't stop there. When one return comes, here comes another, and here comes another. Got another return request tonight. I was at the store and I got a return request. And I'm like, oh. So I get home and I'm looking at it, and the guy bought an item and opened a return because he didn't need it anymore. He's like, I didn't even open this thing and I just need to return it. So he claims that he didn't mean to buy it. It accidentally charged him for the item and it sent it to him, and therefore he's sending it back. But nonetheless, he put bought by accident, so he's paying for that return label. Dixie Flipper is with us. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hi, John. I think you're right. Well, it's not just me. I'm reporting what Liz Morton has reported, and it's on valueaddedresource.net. Go check that out. She does good work. Duncan says, I try not to contact eBay customer support ever. I always found it a waste of time talking to them. In theory, it's a waste of time, right? If you're not doing videos and you then have to evaluate as a reseller, is this $20 item worth me going through this process, or do I just give them their money back and just hope that I don't have a brick coming back to me? I advocate to you guys to do that. But what I also advocate for, and nobody seems to be able to answer this question, What is your, where is your threshold? What is your red line? And what I mean, and I talked about that on this morning's video. If it's a $500 laptop someone bought and claimed that there's a problem or they didn't like it or whatever it is, and now that item's taking its sweet time getting back to you, you then wake up one morning, you still don't have the item, but eBay thinks that you do, even though it's en route, and now they're giving you 2 days to process the refund. Are you processing that refund, or are you waiting? Are you going to contact eBay because you only have the 2 days? So you're going to wait 2 days, then call eBay? What's the number? Is it $100? Is it $50? In this particular case, this was around $50, and I really don't have a lot of doubt that they, ship me back a brick. Most buyers don't do that. It's like 1% of the buyers do something shady like that. So 1 out of every 100 returns, you're going to get, maybe 2 out of every 100 returns, you're going to get something shady. Not to say you're going to get, false ads are higher than that. It's like 5%, I think, closer from my experience. But I'm talking about real shady people who have real bad intentions. They buy your item, swap it out for their old one. Now they got the one that works, and you're going to get the one that doesn't. And, I think we all need to set a number in our mind. What do you sell? If you sell $5 to $10 gadgets and trinkets, then maybe it's not a big deal. It's not worth your time to deal with eBay. You also have to assess how much is your time worth. So if you are dealing with this issue, count on spending between 30 minutes and an hour at minimum to get this thing resolved. And is that $20 item best spent, that time resolving for that $20 item better spent just listing more stuff and blindly refund in hopes that we're dealing with a good buyer? I don't know. But I think the idea that someone will just blindly refund for a $500 item because they don't want to bother with it, I think that's a little bit irresponsible for the business. If I'm being controversial and just putting it out there like that, if it's a higher ticket item, it's certainly not worth your, it's going to be worth your time to follow through with it, to make sure that you're protected. Duncan says, I try not to contact eBay customer support. I did talk about that. Ed says, I wonder if they even meant items sold. Maybe they meant the amount of items you listed in that category. No, I believe that the email is fairly clear. Let's see. Unwrap your personalized 2024 settings. Mine says, you're in the top 5% for men's shoes. Top performer alert. You've outperformed 96% of sellers in your category. Keep aiming high. So actually, I'm not top 5%. I'm top 4% if you do the math. They're saying that I've outperformed 96% of sellers in my category. That is awesome. Even though there is a specific item, my first sale in 2024, a drop leg holster, ambidextrous Mole ACU Universal Eagle Industries gun holster. Who cares, really? I don't think that, this account's not a new account. I didn't like it's my first sale. Who even remembers their first sale, let alone the first sale they made in 2024? They have me an offer. What is this? No, this is interesting. They're making me an offer on this other email, but I'm already taking advantage of it. Take advantage of 75% off up to $200 promoted listings using the priority. And those of you who, very few of you, only the 5% of the people who normally watch my videos saw that one because that one's such a poor performing video. That is, it's becoming a joke in my mind. In that when I look up the dashboard for my campaigns, for that particular campaign, it's my end of year priority campaign. And if we take a look at it, I restarted it, and look at here. I set $6 a day for fees to the end of the year, and immediately they hit me for $11.79. The next day, $11.05. Next day, $11.80. It's supposed to be an average over a 7-day period. Well, now my campaign is out of budget. So I'm going to go down here to, where is it at? It's not saying it. It was saying it. But it says that my campaign was out of budget. And well, no wonder. You guys blew my budget the first 3 days. Here it is. Out of budget. Don't like this process. So I don't know what you guys think, but when I go here, I'm getting, it's like they're charging me like $1 something a click. I got 8 clicks for $11. I got 8 clicks for $11. And then 12 clicks for, I got a discount here, $11.80. And no sales. No sales. I don't care about all this stuff. If this is zero or too low of a number, I've spent $34 to make no sales. That's not, I mean, who's going to want to continue? I don't care what percentage eBay is covering. Who's going to want to continue with that? It's not good business, I don't think. How many people out there are taking advantage of some of these offers that eBay is sending? I want to know how you're doing with that. Chai says mortgage fees got destroyed today. 7.25% plus will be the rate tomorrow because the Fed said they will only cut twice next year. Metals took a shit today as well. Oh no, it's no good. That's no good. I don't want to see that. The metals, I invested in some this year. Let's see, what's gold and silver doing? Gold and historical data. Ooh, you're not kidding. It went down from 2,600 down to about 2,580 and then back up to a little over 2,600. So yeah, they took a dive. That's no good. Well, you know, it's an investment. You just kind of hold on to it, right? Jovial said I'm in the top 2% in men's accessories. Ain't no way. Bottom 2%. Yes. But don't you feel good about 2025 knowing that you're at the top of your game? Chai, I live 25 minutes from Pete. If you ever want me to deliver a message in person for you, you don't need to. I have his phone number. I can call him or text him. I talk to him all the time. How do you think I got hooked up with these shirts? It's crazy. I ended up buying, and I did something people told me not to do, but I'm always wanting to find out. I like to, what do they call it? FAFO, F-A-F-O. I like to FAFO sometimes. And so I bought a 10-pack he had of different police badges. And I do believe, that's where I remember someone said Schaumburg, Illinois. I believe I have a police badge that's listed on my account from Schaumburg, Illinois. And I listed the 10 of them. And I only bought them for like $10 for a 10-pack. These are original patches. They're patches, not badges, but patches. And I listed them despite what a lot of people said. Now, I haven't received any takedown notices, and I don't think I will. There's quite a few other people selling and listing these patches. But knowing that it was me, he was kind enough to send Jenna and myself a shirt. And I'm like, oh, Pete, thank you for the kind gesture. I'm like, I really like this shirt, but you sent one size too small. How do I go on? I want to buy. Don't give me. I want to buy a shirt. And he said, don't worry. And he sent me, not the one shirt, but he sent me 2 shirts. He sent me 2 shirts. And one was this one. One was the one that has a little logo, the blue one with the logo on it. And I'm like, oh, man. He did not have to do that. So I went on and I sent him a shirt from Flippin' Ain't Easy and a coffee mug, Flippin' Ain't Easy. I don't know if he's worn it yet, but just thought it was only the right thing to do. He was nice enough to send that stuff to me. Scott N says, I think I'm also in the top 5% of attracting fraudulent buyers this year. Scott, if you're the guy that talks to me on Instagram, I think you are. You're not. You're not. I don't know what you're selling. What do you? All the times we've talked on Instagram, I really haven't gotten into, hey, what kind of item keeps attracting these buyers? So I'd like to know that. But I think sometimes we think about our bad experiences and that lingers with us, and we forget about all the good interactions we've had with customers. And I'm willing to say that you're probably in that mode where you just are just so turned off of the idea of selling on eBay because of these few interactions, and I've said this before. Okay, let's say that all of us are dealing with scammers once a week. We all have to deal with our weekly scammer. Is eBay still worth selling on the platform? At the end of the day, at the end of the year, because if we start looking at it day by day, it really can be discouraging. At the end of the year, are you making the kind of money that's preventing you from having to do a 9 to 5, or if you already have a part-time job, it's preventing you from having to work 2 jobs? I would much rather, if I had to work a part-time job, let's say that was all that was available to me, multiple part-time jobs, I would rather do a part-time job and eBay, I got something on me, than to work it. That's too hard to run back and forth between employers. Have to do it at a certain time. Duncan, my listing quality report says I am at the top of my category and to promote higher. Well, you guys know I showed you what they're doing to me. I have it at $6 a day. They're making me pay $11 a day. It's against what they said. It's supposed to be an average. They're averaging right now. They're on pace for $60-some a day, but they recommended that I spend $77 a day, not $6. What are they doing? Now, I know better, but what about the people who don't? What about the people who are optimistic in that, hey, I can really make a lot of money here, and all I got to do is spend $77 a day, and if I can get eBay to give me $500 to $600 a day in sales, maybe it's worth it. And it's not. It's not worth it. Duncan says I'm not promoting at 25%. Fat chance. That's good. John, I've never asked you, but how long have you been on YouTube full time, and do you think it's worth it while trying to balance your reselling business? Okay, now when you say it's worth it, it depends on the rewards you're after. If you're after riches and money, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Full disclosure, I'm making about half of what I was making 2 years ago on this channel, and that's like $500 to $600 a month. So, I mean, if it's worth it there. But the first couple years, you're really, really grinding without a whole lot of reward. The first 6 months, you're really not getting anything. And you really have to enjoy the teaching side of things. So for me, this whole YouTube thing was to fill a void that I had left. So my career, 26 years working for the railroad. I worked in management. I trained new hire classes. I worked, before being in management, I worked in a department where I actually helped people and or I dealt with difficult customer situations. Calls were escalated over to me. And it's one of those jobs where you actually have to pass a efficiency test or proficiency test on all the rules and regulations and stuff, and pass it at a 90% clip. Otherwise, you can't even win and bid a job in that department, regardless of your seniority. And I learned so much for being in that role. But when I left, it was like I'm on eBay Island now. I have no one to talk to. I have Jenna, but she doesn't want to hear about eBay all the time. So it was just me, myself, and YouTube videos I was watching. And I also was watching some YouTubers give out totally bad information. And I'm like, this goes against every fiber of my being, watching people give out bad information. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to make a video, make a channel. And I had joked about it when I was still at Amtrak, because I was a part-time seller for all those years. I had joked I was going to make a channel called Flippin' Ain't Easy. And I thought, it's time. Let's do it. 2020, the beginning of 2020 is when we started the channel. And you know what? So many things came up the first 2 months that most people would have stepped away. And my dad was in the hospital from the beginning of that year through Valentine's Day in February. About a month and a half he was in the hospital. Eventually in hospice, he passed away on Valentine's Day. And it was really enough to get me to step away. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna keep grinding. I enjoy the interaction with the people and helping people and getting the random messages saying, hey, thank you, you're being helpful. I wouldn't have been able to figure this out. It's all those folks over the years who've really reached out. Like my buddy Mike Camparelli sent me a little letter. I get to read it. I'm not sure what's in there, but I'm excited to do it. So it's just there's a number of people in my life, some watching right now, like Bearded Picker, Josh Galt, Archie Biscuit Butt, Mike Camparelli, and we got Duncan, which I really don't know him beyond the chat. You got Prosser, Keith in the UK. These are good people that, man, if I wouldn't have had this channel, I wouldn't know them from the next guy. So I'm grateful for that. So if you're looking to really build rewarding relationships with people, this is one way to really do it. Jovial says makes as much sense as today being wear a plunger on your head day. I don't know where you're getting these, but that's just ridiculous. And where's that plunger been? I don't think I'd ever participate in that. Flip It Good says, howdy, nice to see you. Chai says, I make basic content on my channel, like how to make a custom box for VHS out of a slab of cardboard. Videos like that have value, but it's more what is called evergreen content, meaning that the content is going to be, everlasting. In 10 years from now, someone's going to want to figure out how do they make a box like that, and your video will be watched over time. Whereas if you're making a video like this live stream, in a year from now, there won't be any watchers on it. It'll be in my library of content, but most people won't even look at it. So evergreen, I think, is a good way to do it. I have one video that's over 100,000 views, and that was a liquidation video I made like 3.5 years ago. Duncan, you must have some of my stray crickets over there. Yeah, they sure are. We have Michael Phillip. I saw that you sent Pete one of your shirts. Yes, so he did wear it. I'm just bad with content, guys. When I'm watching YouTube, it's very rare that I watch YouTube a whole lot. I will watch some of Pete's content, but not all of it. I just can't, because his content is really one of those things where you put it on, you can't really just play it in the background because there's too much stuff going on in his shop where you stop and you're watching and you're listening. I'll put on like Primo Chemo stuff. It's like you can listen and hear the banter and all that kind of stuff. And many of you guys are working right now listening to this because there's not a whole lot to see on the screen. Ed says, I took yours and Jen's advice of focusing on my family as well, and I got to see many firsts with my daughter, so that's more important to me than making content and reselling. And you're going to remember those firsts, but you're really not going to remember what video did I make like August 5th of 2024. You're probably not going to remember. It's probably not going to have a whole lot of meaning to you. Chai, I don't think John gets crickets in Vegas. His crickets have stingers on the tails and lobster claws for hands. Knock on wood, I've come across one scorpion since I've been here. It was dead in a box, and Jen and I were going through the boxes one time out in the garage, and I flipped it at her. She freaked out. It didn't land on her, but she wasn't happy with me. Basket Noodle says, what is everyone doing up? I got word from a very jovial viewer who through the grapevine that she was looking forward to a pop-up live, and I had made sort of I kind of was out of my place. I probably shouldn't have even hinted towards it, but I remember talking to the guys on PPP and saying, hey, let's do a pop-up live, and we were thinking about doing one for this week. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I figure, well, I'm not going to be around tomorrow evening. I'll be doing my bowling league, so might as well just try to do one tonight. Yes, late night show. We're replacing the late night hosts on your TV. Beard says, I wasn't referring to myself. Seems a guru has stolen your idea. Oh, yes. Yes. There is a very, very popular eBay YouTuber that is starting. They took my tagline, and Josh also brought this to my attention. But it's not very sporty to rip people off, but nonetheless, the idea that, oh, hit the like button, you're going to get a sale in the next 24 hours. I mean, I guess I've been doing that for the last 2 years. There's got to be other things that you can offer somebody than my idea. But you know what? I don't own any patents on anything, but it is kind of funny nonetheless. Chai says, I'm in the top 5% for dollars. I guess they meant silver dollars like Morgans, Peace, and American Silver Eagles, but that is no friggin' way in real life. Yeah, I think it's fudged. Susan Phelps, some sellers are getting notified by eBay regarding the descriptions of pre-owned conditions with new values. Tech and Sports put out a video, starts 2425 globally. So what are they saying? You can't price your item as a new price? So if I have okay, so let's say I have this sweater that new historically is sold for $75. Let's say this particular sweater, I don't have a lot of competition on it. I can almost name my price. But it's not new. It's used. You can't sell it at 75? Maybe I'm wrong with that. That doesn't sound right. This whole price fixing, you should be able to set your price. The market will determine if your price is too high. Thrift Gorilla, Veros definitely kill sales, not sure about returns. I just feel like there's something there. There's something there. Last couple days, a lot of return requests, whether it's on me or whether it's the buyer changing their mind, and my sales are in the toilet. Big Dre, I got 2 returns yesterday and 2 cancellations today. That's no good. Cancellations suck. It's like, here's your sale. Psych. Taking that back. Gowana says returns are correlated with the type of product you're selling. There's a lot of categories that have relatively no returns, like your I say this just because I have no other term for it, your collectibles category, or the collectibles in general. I don't think there's an actual collectibles category, but collectibles in general will have fewer returns than electronics. So someone like me, I have high returns on my store, but the saving grace with the fact that I have high returns is that I have a lot of different categories I sell in. So you have to have 10 unique returns within a particular category and be labeled as very high to have a problem. And I don't have that. Basket Noodle, have to realize the pressures coming eBay's way and have been, we sellers have no collective power. Government and unified supply chains have it all. That's simple and complex. Yep. We have no control over things like the market. Well, yes, you kind of do. You could flood the market. We do have a little bit of control. So I've done that before where I've flooded a particular market, received a lot of a particular item, had little competition, and I just flooded that category with the same item over and over, and it totally killed my sales. Duncan, guy in UK asked me if he bought my item, can I get it to him by Christmas? Now, I don't know what the turnaround time for delivery is in UK, how long it takes to get from one side of the island to the other. But that's certainly out now. If you're promising people, and I was going to put out a video saying this, or maybe even title this live, I'm glad you brought this up, saying don't do this. You should not do this anymore this year. And that is promise people that they're going to get their item by Christmas. If we're talking like the next state over, then maybe if you mail it out tomorrow. But I wouldn't be promising anything. David chimed in late, had to work. That's what puts food on the table. You got to do that. This is just secondary, but gladly you're here. So thank you for being here. Mike Gertis, I've had 0 returns for months, 5 in December, 3 read description wrong, 1 clothing didn't fit right, 1 purchase game accidentally, which means they rented it from me. Yeah, they passed your game. I'm assuming it's a video game, one of the video games that you sell. They passed it, and now they're sending it back. So welcome to being Blockbuster Video. John Doe, I would tell them I am not Blockbuster and politely tell them I won't accept the return. Unfortunately, if they open a return, doesn't matter how polite you are, you have to accept the return request. Unless you have no returns and they're just requesting the return. If they're forcing an INAD on you, you have no say in the matter. Duncan, really, you could ship international mail via the microwave. We have Bill Hess. I 100% know I am the top 1%. So there you go. You know that's a valid number then. But someone that is receiving this 5% thing and they know, like for me, I'm like, there's no way I'm in the top 5% of shoe sellers. Then I don't think it's accurate. Duncan, the microwave is for nuking crickets. Mike says, I only get a couple a year, so chalk it up as a cost of doing business. Yep, I think so. I believe in that sentiment. And then Duncan will not trust eBay offers. They never honor them. They are okay. They are honoring them. So the $11 I'm paying per day, I'm only paying like $3 something a day at the end of the day out of my pocket. But that's not what I had planned. I only wanted to offer $6 a day, which means paying like $1.50 out of pocket. And over a 2-week period, it's a $20 experiment. I'm cool with trying out their program for $20. But if they're going to do this to me every day, where they're going to run up my budget in 3 days, and then 4 days I have no budget, so it's not like I'm not even using the plan. It's a very broken process, I think. Let's see. Scott Gervin, I'm in the top 5% to 10%. Is that okay to watch? Plus, I'm late. I mean, I guess it's okay if you feel like the stats are correct. I think for many people are questioning it. It's like there's no way I'm top 4% in any category on my second store. Not at all. Don't do dynamic promoting. They just want to charge you more fees for no extra result. I'm starting to believe that. Someone go click on the toilet seat listing 20 times. LOL. Don't do that. I don't even have that promoted with the priority. I have only certain targeted listings that have multi-quantity, and it's not helping. Martin Greenberg, top 1% knives, flatware, and cutlery seems higher than expected, but we, Wickedberg, definitely sell a lot in these categories. And you might be right up there. Jules Y75, hi, just read I'm top 5% for action figures, sort of surprising as well. And how many of you that are receiving this message have access to the listings quality report? That may be why my main account, I'm not getting that email, because they know I can easily go in and look at the listings quality report and go, this is a bunch of BS. There's no way I'm a top 5 in this category, because they're telling me that I'm not in the report. Susan got an email on recap. Once I click on my email, where do I go from there? Well, when you click on the click here part, it takes you to your seller hub. I don't know. It just takes you back to your seller hub, which is why I feel, and many people feel like it's just a bunch of BS. If you're not going to take me to a report where I can verify that's what's happening, then it can't be accurate. Loving every minute of it. Hey, thanks for being here. Lindy Moo, I'm at top 1% of my niche category. Have added other categories, but it's nice to have a steady bread and butter backup. Yep, it takes a lot of the pressure off when you do. Loving every minute of it. Says been on eBay for over 14 years now. I spend 10 to 14 hours a day working on it, and it pays off. And that's the thing. You put in the effort, you should be able to get the rewards if you're doing the right things. Beard says, so what John is saying is that he used to watch me before he started, and I gave up bad information. Now we do the PPP. It isn't you that gave out the bad information. In fact, it was someone you actually were doing videos with at one point. That was one of the influencers that got me to go, yeah, this person's got a lot of viewers. There's a lot of people that believe what she's saying right now. And I'm looking at the policy, and it's nowhere near what she's saying. Or she was saying, hey, I think, I'm not sure, but we're going to talk. This is the topic, but I think this is what it's supposed to be. I'm like, why would you make a video without doing any research beforehand? A lot of these videos I watched were like, yeah, it's time to do the channel. Big Dre says, I'm in the top 5% of men's shoes. Flipping from the trailer, Mike was on Trash to Cash this week. I've got to check that out. I think, didn't that come out today? So I just don't watch a lot of YouTube. Shame on me. I just don't. I've got a lot of merchandise out in the garage, and my main focus is to get that stuff listed. Duncan says, I have not had a scammer on eBay for a long time. If you want to see the type of ephemera I sell, just look up my store. And that's just it. You're selling in a category where a lot of people are honest. There's many different types of buyers on eBay, guys. And I didn't learn this until last summer. When I was selling Archie, Biscuit Butt, and I, we split a military lot. And it was full of military pins and patches, a lot of patches. ribbons and buttons and all this stuff. We split it up. Must have been about 2,000 pieces we each got out of this thing. And we're talking very vintage, like World War II to Vietnam to the 80s. And we started listing this stuff. And really, we did a lot on auction because we didn't really know or see a lot of comps on some of these. That's how rare I think some of these were. And some of them did get bid up quite a bit. And I didn't even have to set instant payment required on that account. I knew there's going to be people buying lots of different patches and badges and all that stuff. And there were. But I never had one buyer not pay. And I think I had about 400 or 500 unique different unique buyers out of that summer, that entire lot. Not one return, not one false sign of no return, not one person complaining, nothing like that. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. I didn't have to have the stress that your electronic sellers have when they sell an electronics item that's, let's say, parts or repair. The person buys it, they pull the part that they need, and they send you back that parts or repair. They force an INAD return when you did nothing wrong, just so they can steal your part. And it happens way too often. Dragon Master finds Anthony says, hey, now I'm in the top 5%. There you go. Always good to be a part of the club. Let's see. Ryan Hess says top 2% in the collector's plates. There you go. I had some collector's plates. I had some Elvis ones. I picked up 10 collector's Elvis plates. They're the ones that are like signed on the back. They each had a certificate of authenticity. I think from the 70s or something like that. And a guy, his wife had passed away, and she had a bunch of Elvis stuff, and he was selling it at a yard sale. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of creepy, but okay, I'll go ahead and buy the 10. They were in I still have the tin here as a trash can. It's an Elvis tin with no lid. I have it as my office trash can. But the plates, I sold those for like 20, 25 bucks a piece. I picked up the whole thing of plates of 10. I think I paid 40 bucks for all of them. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happened this year, if they said I was in the top 5% of plates. We have Samantha saying, hey, John, what's going on? Is all well? As well as they're going to get. My sales aren't very well, but tomorrow's a new day. That's the way I got to look at it. Thrift Gorilla has had 3 cancellations in December. I denied all the requests and still shipped the items. Now, there's a lot of people that will claim and swear up and down if you don't cancel or honor their cancellation request, that it's just going to be a return anyway. How many people feel that way? How many people have actually done that and gotten a return anyway? I think the number's a lot lower than what people think. Jovial, he has been saying it for weeks now. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so they say. Well, there you go. Maybe he watches the show. Hopefully I'm able to, to help either. Maybe he's learning something from the program. I'm not saying I know it all, but I'm sure we can all learn from each other's experiences. Or maybe it's just helping him pass the time, eBay talk. Jovial just said that. Tommy, hello, Brother John. Thank you for the live. Well, you're welcome. Nice to be here. Craig Winans, the grading is for clothes only. Okay. Peddling Profits, 27 years, 23 months on eBay. Spend less time on eBay in the last 15 years than previous years. Very rarely promote, but that all really comes with what you sell. Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. And when you count the years and then you count the months, it reminds me of a guy that I worked with who was counting down. And I work with this guy, and I work with him almost every day. And I could ask him, hey Les, the guy's name was Les, how much time do you have left before you can retire? 10 years, 5 months, and 12 days. I'm like, wow. I mean, are you doing the math every day? You finding what that number is before you come into work? It's just amazing to me. And it told me that he wasn't really interested in doing what he was doing. It was more of like, I want to be done with this already. I'm not saying that's what's happening with you, but it kind of reminds me of that. Jules Y75, I admit I did my first cancellation today. Hated it, but 3 days still not shipping my item. I ship next day, especially right now. Same day if possible. I hated to do it, but crap. And I think it's going to help your sales. I think all the little things that give your listing a boost. Same day over 3 days is certainly going to help your sales, especially for someone who's trying to get it like ASAP. Anthony says, a friend and I did the opposite of flooding with the item. We bought every copy of a particular Pokemon card, and through cause and effect, we shifted the market value by 70%. Yeah. Can definitely happen. Garden Resale Thrifts. Hey, y'all, from Rochester, New York. Nice to see you. Jovial says, hey, y'all, please be sure to subscribe to Primo Chemo's channel and Josh Galt's channel to get them both to 10K subscribers in 2024. They are so close. Yeah. I'm already subscribed, but go check them out. Maybe I think the stat that sticks out to me, most channels, and it's not just in the reselling niche, it's really across the board. Most channels, 35 to 40% of the viewers are subscribed. The other 60 to 65% are not. And I think it's just really tough to compel someone to subscribe. I don't know if they just don't want things popping up in their feed or whatever it is, but it's really hard to get those folks over. Susan says it has descriptions of what type of pre-owned fair, pre-owned good, pre-owned excellent, with a description of what they mean, just enclosed so far from what I can see. Okay, that's what I believe Craig was talking about, and it's not going to affect me much. We sell very, very few clothes throughout the year. John Worldwide Weber, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm good as I ever was. Yes, or I'm better than I will be. Isn't that what it is? I think, at least in my case, I feel like every day that passes, I'm getting a little bit worse at something. Cole Williams, great to catch alive. Love the channel. Happy holidays to you and your family. Well, Merry Christmas. And I hope that doesn't offend anyone, but guess what? I'm going to say it. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to each and every one of you, and same to you, Cole. Charlie McBride, see Tech Sports new video about eBay's new clothing range system for 2025. Got to check it out. Wonder where it's posted, because I always look for new stuff to talk about, and I haven't seen anything. Not to saying it's not going to happen. I just haven't seen it. Jules Y75, the biggest scammers are those that buy an item, example, video games, play them, beat them and return, or wear seasonal items, Halloween masks and return. I am in the camp where if I have Halloween stuff up for sale, I don't even want to sell it after September 30th. I really don't, because now maybe we're dealing with, most of our buyers are honest, but the scammers, the people with bad intentions, knowing they're just going to buy it to return it, I believe go up as compared to the ones that are buying in September. Craigslist Hunter, Pete, there he is. You are in the top 1% as far as I'm concerned. You are GOAT status, sir. So you are certainly there. Thrift Gorilla says they haven't opened any returns yet. Knock on wood. Yes. Knock on wood. Jovial says, hey, John, would you say, like my video, please? Well, please like my video. Hit that like button. You're going to be granted the vibes to get you a sale within the next 24 hours. I'm just going to push that karma out to you guys, that positive energy, and you get that sale within the next 24 hours. It's probably not a thing, guys, but it's something we've talked about all the time, and guess what? It works so often for people. They like, wow, this thing is really weird. It's, as soon as I hit the like button, I got a sale. It's like, okay. Open air prison. I don't know what open air prison is, but if that's, it kind of reminds me of what eBay Island is. And eBay Island is a phenomenon where you are working on eBay and have no one to associate with, and it can be a very, very lonely place. David Dog, or David Dog. I don't know which one it is. I hope I didn't butcher it. Selling car and truck parts on eBay since 2012. eBay is always scamming. Remember the penny auctions? Yes, I do remember those. And speaking of car parts, I have literally like 400 car parts that I am so bad with. They're just still sitting there. We're talking new in-box parts, you know, like filters and brakes and stuff like that, but still, I think I've listed like 20 of those items. Peddling Profits, LOL John, not counting down, had typo. Love what we do. Yes. I figured that. It just reminded me of my coworker. He eventually did of course, retire. But it was funny that you can catch him on any random day, and he could tell you exactly how long he was there and how long he had to go. So we're at the end of the comments. I really wanted to do it only in an hour, and guess what? We did it in an hour and 5 minutes. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being in the top 5%. And if you're watching this after the fact, you could be in the top 5% too if you hit your notification bell and join us when we do these last minute lives. But being in that 5% and grinding so that you can legitimately be in that 5% is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. Want you guys to have an excellent rest of your evening, and we will talk to you, each and every one of you, very, very soon. Take care, everyone.